They let me pick. Did I ever tell you that? Choose whichever Spartan I wanted. You know me. I did my research, watched as you became the soldier we needed you to be. Like the others, you were strong and swift and brave. A natural leader. But you had something they didn't. Something no one saw but me. Can you guess? Love.
What the heck? I thought I clicked on a 2004 Star Wars Battlefront review video.
Ye of little faith. Show you how it all makes sense. Halo 3. Halo 3 is a game released in 2007. As the title suggests, it's the third installment in the Halo franchise. In the game, you play as a tall tank of a man named John. John here holds the rank of Master Chief Petty Officer in the Space Navy called United Nations Space Command, or the UNSC. That is how he got his nick, Master Chief. In the UNSC, they have their own CIA called ONI, or Office of Naval Intelligence. ONI started a program with a very smart doctor named Dr. Catherine Halsey. They made a project called the Spartan 2 program. Its goal was to produce super soldiers by kidnapping children and placing them into a giant tank suits. There were a lot of steps that I'd skipped out on, but to keep it short, that's what happened. So, through Halos 1, 2, and 3, you play as the Master Chief mercilessly mowing through hordes of alien baddies. In these games, you'd occasionally come across weaker, more personalized humans called Marines. Like the name implies, these units would travel on UNSC starships to serve as the main ground infantry force. They were more representative of a normal human rather than a walking tank super soldier. With Halo 3 seemingly finishing the fight, Bungie needed time before they could figure out where 343 Industries and they themselves wanted to take the story. So, they started working on a side project. And in 2008, Halo 3 ODST was announced. Only, instead of being the overpowered super soldier like before, you were a normal, human soldier, part of the Special Operations Group known as the Orbital Shock Drop Troopers, or ODST. They heckin' dropped from space in metal pods. Right away you could tell you weren't in that sweet Mjolnir power armor anymore. Instead of having shields and a ton of health, you died very quickly, and the game took on a more gritty and realistic survive if you can tone. Now that I've spent all this time talking about a game that I'm not even reviewing in this video, I want to say how this all interlocks with 04's Battlefront. 09's Halo 3 ODST is a development jewel and storytelling masterpiece in regards of reminding the player that not only how fragile human life can be, but also serves as a reminder to how powerful and, dare I say, overpowered you were as a Spartan too. How does this all tie back to Star Wars Battlefront? In the Star Wars universe, we have something comparable to Spartans, only in principle, the Jedi. Well, Jedi and Sith, but that's not the point. The point is both are individuals who possess special properties other peoples or groups don't have, thus making them more powerful. Just like Halo's Spartans, Star Wars have Jedi. Like where Halo has ODSTs, Star Wars has Rebels and Clone Troopers. These games aren't that dissimilar. They're the same game in principle, that principle being what it's like to be a regular grunt. These games force the player into a situation where they aren't the big dogs anymore, whilst showing how powerful the big dogs truly are. In the movies especially, the new ones, they don't show how truly powerful these individuals really are compared to an average Joe or satisfactory Susan. I believe Star Wars Battlefront does an amazing job of that. In Battlefront, you're a soldier with just a weapon and equipment versus an army of similarly equipped soldiers, along with some similarly equipped friendly soldiers. Every faction has 4 main classes with a 5th special one. The 4 main classes of every faction is The Rifleman has a fully automatic blaster rifle, semi-automatic blaster pistol, thermal detonators, but if they're clone troopers, they have EMP grenades, concussion grenades for anti-vehicle purposes. The anti-vehicle soldier has some sort of AT rocket launcher, although the Rebel launcher fires 2 rockets and everyone else fires 1. I don't understand it to this day. A semi-automatic blaster pistol and thermal detonators. The engineer soldiers have one of these primary weapons. The Rebels get a blaster shotgun, the Empire and the CIS both have a type of grenade launcher, and the clone pilots have arc casters, which basically shoot a charge of electricity, and the rifle is also chargeable for a stronger electric bolt. They have semi-automatic blaster pistols, a fusion cutter, which is basically a repair tool, health and ammo combo packs, where you throw them down on the ground and you yourself or teammates can pick up these packs. The Marksman has a semi-automatic sniper rifle, a semi-automatic blaster pistol, thermal detonators, and a recon drone, which has a secondary fire where if you hold the drone in one position and you let it charge up, it lays down an orbital bombardment. Now, every unit I've mentioned so far is pretty balanced in the game. While writing this script, I was going to say how overpowered the Rifleman unit was, but I only say that because it fits my playstyle, and I use him all the time. When I play as other units, not including the 5th ones, they're all OP in their own right, and if that doesn't scream balance, I don't know what does. Now for the Rebels, they have a Wookiee Warrior. The Wookiee Warrior has a bowcaster, a grenade launcher, thermal detonators, and time bombs. Meanwhile, the CIS, or the droids, have the Droideka. It rolls up into a ball and rolls faster than a default running speed character. It unfolds into a quote-unquote turret form where it uses its dual rapid-fire blasters. The Droideka also has a shield emitter that accommodates about half of a health bar. It slowly depletes overuse and recharges when inactive. Now, for both the Empire and the Republic, they have jetpack troopers. The difference between the Imperial Dark Trooper and the Republic Jet Trooper is the Dark Trooper's pack is a burst of elevation and momentum with a limited control options available for the player. The Jet Trooper has a more hover-like pack that increases and decreases with player control, as well as forward, back, left, and right control as well. However, each trooper's weaponry is different. The Dark Trooper has a blaster shotgun, a semi-automatic blaster pistol, and thermal detonators, whereas the Jet Trooper has an EMP launcher, a semi-automatic rapid-fire blaster pistol, and thermal detonators. All different soldiers have their own balanced strengths and weaknesses, thus making the game fun to play and truly replayable. Now this game has all kinds of different modes. I'm not going to talk about these in this video because they're admittedly copy and paste game modes of the core game, which is showcased most prominently in instant action. Game modes like CTF and Hunt wouldn't come along until Battlefront 2. Although they would ultimately be fun, they distracted from the singular soldier in a large-scale battle angle that this game had so graciously set up. Not to mention the blatant, almost subsequent ditching of the original principle altogether when they introduced playable heroes. When it comes to the maps, they're all very unique, and there's only a couple I'd say I don't like in the game. On top of that, the ones I do dislike are the ones that aren't necessarily bad, just boring. Naboo planes. So if you watch the Star Wars movies and think, I wonder how it'd feel if I was a rebel in the trenches on Hoth, watching the walkers come about ready to murderize me, you can find out by playing this game. You wanted to know what it'd be like to be a clone charging in on Geonosis behind Jedi General Mace Windu, basically Samuel L. Jackson. You can experience that. I'd like to point out that the AI is pretty diverse as well. You come across everything from noob AI to idle players occasionally. You can even encounter what I dub the sweaty AI, whose sole purpose is to simulate the sweatiest Star Wars Battlefront player ever by dodging and juking around like a running back attempting to go for the game-winning touchdown. So ultimately, Star Wars Battlefront 2004 is an amazing game, and it breaks my soul a little bit when I hear somebody say, "Oh, I forgot about that one." I know it's overshadowed by Battlefront 2, but it's amazing enough to be recognized for its own pioneering qualities, an outward take on Star Wars, not just being about the OP heroes and villains with lightsabers. Choo 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 choo. I have been your boy Bent Boy. Leave a comment telling me if I should review Star Wars Battlefront 2, and don't forget to leave a like. Bye bye.